Just a few months ago, ECOWAS President Julius Maada stood firm, demanding that Burkina Faso's young leader, Ibrahim Traoré, step down or be taken down by force. The West African bloc warned of consequences, sanctions, and isolation. But now, something surprising has happened. President Bio himself traveled to Burkina Faso to meet the very man he once asked to leave office. What changed? Why this sudden shift? And what does it mean for the future of West Africa? But before we dive deeper, like this video and subscribe to our channel to help grow this community. To understand the significance of this visit, we need to go back to the beginning. Ibrahim Traoré, at only 34 years old, took power in Burkina Faso after a coup in 2022. His rise was fueled by public frustration with insecurity, terrorism, and weak governance. Many young Africans celebrated him as a symbol of resistance, a leader who dared to challenge old systems. But ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, was not impressed. In fact, under the leadership of Sierra Leone's president, Julius Maada, the bloc demanded that Ibrahim Traoré step down and return Burkina Faso to civilian rule quickly. They threatened sanctions, political isolation, and pressure from the international community. ECOWAS has long positioned itself as the guardian of democracy in West Africa. But many Africans argue that the bloc often acts under external influence, especially from France, the European Union, and the United States. When coups happen, ECOWAS tends to respond with harsh sanctions against the people, instead of real solutions to insecurity. In Ibrahim Traoré's case, ECOWAS tried the same formula: pressure, threats, and calls for him to step aside or be taken down by force. But something was different this time. The Burkinabe people stood firmly behind their leader. They saw Traoré not as a dictator, but as a defender of sovereignty. And slowly, the narrative began to shift. While ECOWAS demanded resignation, Traoré doubled down. He strengthened alliances with Mali and Niger, forming what is now called the Alliance of Sahel States. Together, these countries pulled out ECOWAS, accusing it of being a puppet of foreign powers. For the first time, the bloc's authority was openly challenged and weakened. Traoré also made bold moves, expelling French troops, seeking partnerships with Russia and Turkey, and focusing on internal security. Instead of crumbling ECOWAS pressure, he grew stronger, both politically and symbolically. Across Africa, youth began to see him as the face of a new Pan-African movement, fearless, uncompromising, and determined. And this brings us to the turning point. Despite the earlier demands for Ibrahim Traoré to step down, ECOWAS President Bio traveled to Ouagadougou to meet him. No sanctions, no ultimatums. Instead, handshakes, smiles, and diplomatic talks. This wasn't just a courtesy visit. It was a signal, a recognition that the political reality had changed. So why did Bio change his tone? Analysts point to three main reasons. ECOWAS is losing influence. With Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger gone, the bloc is weaker. Regional security, terrorism is spreading, and Traoré's cooperation is essential. Public opinion. Ordinary Africans increasingly support leaders who stand up to external pressure. Ignoring this reality risks political backlash. There's also a deep irony in this visit. Months ago, Bio represented the voice of ECOWAS, warning Traoré to step down. Today, he's the one stepping into Traoré's territory, acknowledging his authority. This reversal is not just political, it's symbolic. It shows how power is shifting in West Africa, away from the traditional guardians and towards younger, bolder leaders. So what does this all mean? First, it signals the rise of a new era. ECOWAS, once seen as untouchable, is now forced to adapt. Leaders like Traoré, Goïta, and Chiani are shaping their own path, rejecting old rules. Second, it reveals the growing demand for sovereignty and dignity in African politics. Citizens are tired of leaders who bow to foreign powers. They want leaders who protect their land, their resources, and their future. And third, it shows that even powerful institutions can bend when people stand together. Of course, the story isn't over. ECOWAS and the Sahel Alliance remain at odds. Will there be reconciliation, Or are we witnessing the birth of two separate blocs in West Africa? Could Bio's visit be a first step towards dialogue, or simply a survival strategy for ECOWAS? And what role will outside powers play in shaping these dynamics? One thing is clear. Ibrahim Traoré's refusal to step down has changed the game, and Julius Maada Bio's visit to Ouagadougou proves it. From confrontation to conversation, the balance of power is shifting. The question now is, will West Africa unite under new leadership, or will the divisions deepen? What do you think? Was Bio's visit a sign of respect or just political necessity? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them. Don't forget to like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe for more deep dives into Africa's changing political landscape.